Hi guys, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. My name is Gaurav and as you know I make videos regarding education and international students, and right now currently I am at my job site. This and the background is Midtown Manhattan, and currently I am working in United Nations. One of the project is it's about to complete, but as you can see there is a fog and it was pretty much cold, but now it's becoming a little bit warmer day by day since the spring is coming and the winter is going on. Okay, so now in today's video I'm going to talk about H-1B visa, and if you are a H-1B visa holder and if you lose your job, what happens next, what are the consequences, and how you should perform, or what steps you need to take next, we are going to explore in this video. Now H-1B visa, as you guys know, H-1B visa is a work visa which international students take after their OPT period is ended or during their OPT period, depending on their situation how it works. Now everyone wants H-1B visa because once you get it, your H-1B visa, you get it for 3 years and it might be extended to 6 years if you reapply and if you fulfill certain rules and regulations of USCIS. Now in times of COVID there are many job layoffs and many uncertainties which you don't know how it will come to you. So in that situation, many international students who are on H-1B visa, they faces many hardships and many hard times where they lose their job and they are on their H-1B visa, so it becomes more difficult because they have certain timeline, and most uncertain situation happens and you don't need to panic. There are certain steps which you need to take, and what will happen and what you should do and what will be your next step I will be explaining in this video. There are many ways you can tackle this situation, and if you are in one of this situation, please listen to this steps which I'm going to tell you, and how you should tackle them, and how you can find another job, or what are the other steps and what time you have in order to get those steps fulfilled. So I'm going to explain what happens when you lose a job when you're in H-1B visa and how you should tackle the situation. That all will be there in this video with this foggy atmosphere in Manhattan, and I will be showing you around how it is, how does the Manhattan look when it's really foggy. So if you want to know how to handle the situation of losing a job on H-1B visa, and if you want to look around for foggy Manhattan, please keep on watching. Now let's get one thing cleared first, like when an H-1B visa holder can lose a job. Now if an employee is not performing his duty very well, then a company has right to lawfully terminate the contract, or the other reason might be due to some situation like COVID, or when they don't have much work. Lawfully an employer can terminate the job contract if you have not signed any contract regarding of your employment. Now the next question which you might have is, don't you have a right to work for this job if you got that job? The answer is, if you have not signed any of the contract with your employer, then your employer has a lawful right of terminating your employment, because while you sign your paperwork, it is mentioned that you are employed at a will. That means that employer has a right to terminate your employment or tell you in advance or straight away that that's it, you cannot work here anymore. But if you, in a similar fashion, you can also terminate the employment. You can also tell them that you are quitting your job in the other case. But this video is going to be about what if you lose a job. Now, these were the points why you can lose the job and what rights you have. If you have signed a contract with them for certain years, they do not have lawful rights to kick you out of the company. But if you have not signed any of the contract paperwork of your term in their employment, an employer can definitely terminate your employment based on your performance or any uncertain situation like COVID. Now, consequences of losing H-1B visa employment. Now, one of the purpose of H-1B visa classification is that the workers come here temporarily to perform work in the United States. Now, as it comes with many benefits, there is a drawback of H-1B visa, which is that you have to leave this country within 60 days grace period if you are terminated from your job when you are on H-1B visa. Now, this is a major drawback because H-1B visa is purely and directly related to your employment status with the employer and your eligibility to work in the United States. But if you do not have the work, you will have to leave this country. Now, only consequence is that you get 60 days of grace period, in which you have to find another job, you have to work, you have to apply, and that another employer has to file your H-1B visa, or your H-1B visa can be transferred from your previous employee, but the process has to be again, and the new employer has to pay the legal fees and all the attorney's fees. And if you do not wish to continue working with a different employer, then you will have to return back to your country within 60 days. When are you supposed to leave the United States? Now, as I said in the previous point, you get 60 days grace period after you lose your employment on an H-1B visa. Now, within 60 days, if you do not find another job, and your period will start counting after the day you lost your job. So once the day starts and the 60 period is reached, you will have to leave United States after 60 days if you do not file for change of status or you do not find any other job. But one of the point which is mentioned in USCIS rules and regulation is that the employer who terminated your job has to pay for your flight ticket to your country or wherever you are coming from. So the employer, the H-1B employer who terminated your job, has to pay for your flight ticket to go back to your country or wherever region you came from. That is by law, that is underlined law in highlighted cloud in the USCIS rule. So this is the time frame when you have to leave the United States. How do you begin to have unlawful presence in the United States? Now, once your H-1B visa employer terminates your job, doesn't matter whether it was your performance or it was because they didn't have much work to do and you were terminated due to some of their own reasons, it doesn't matter. USCIS will start counting your days once the date your employment was terminated. And if you stay more than 60 days, suppose you stay 180 days after your job was terminated and after your petition was not approved, you are not allowed to enter United States for 3 years if you stay more than 180 days, up to 180 days if you stay after losing your job. And if you stay more than 365 days, which is more than 1 year, then you are not allowed to enter United States for over 1 year. I'm over 10 years. If you are not allowed to come back to United States if you stay unlawfully in the United States after you're losing your job for more than 1 year. So this is something you have to take into consideration. Next important question is how to remain in status after you lose your H-1B visa employment. Now, if you are getting laid off because of your performance, there will be chances that your employer will tell you way more in advance. But in certain situations like your COVID situation which is going on right now, there might not be enough time for the employer to tell you and you will be laid off suddenly. Now in that case, it is your bad luck and you will have to figure out your ways to remain lawfully into the United States and how you can maintain the status. So there are multiple ways in which you can be in status. Now first of all, the first thing which you can be legally in status is to find another job which sponsors your H-1B visa. Now in that case, the new employer will have to file your I-129 petition of H-1B visa, and if it gets approved, you will have chance of getting another job and another staying in the United States. Now also during that 60 days grace period, you will have to satisfy the needs of USCIS and you will have to let USCIS know that within this 60 days period you are still looking for a job. You have to provide with some documentation and your efforts to get a new job, and once everything is approved, you will be able to continue and get a new job and continue to stay in the United States, and you will be in your status. The another way is if you change your status to another, like many of this employees who get laid off, they transfer their visa, they change their status to F1 student visa, or they get a visitor visa B1 B2, or they can get L1, or also they can do H4 visa. But there are all the other options which you might have during this time period. So you have to figure out your ways and your things of what are your next step. Always have a plan B, as I say in all my videos. So that is very important to have those kind of things settled up in your mind, like what will be the next step, so that you are very clear and you know what steps should be taken next. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope you got some information regarding like what to do if you are on an H-1B visa and you lost your job. So these are very important steps, and you have to make sure of the deadline which you have of 60 days. And I'm pretty sure you got some idea like how you should take the next further steps if you are getting laid off due to any reason, your performance or some unexpected situation. So if you are in that situation, make sure you check this out. I will see you in the next video in some different location, and until then, take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.